And that is, we cannot negotiate on behalf of the Arab countries. The issue of Jerusalem has been resolved many times, and both sides have no problem with it. The recent issue, for the Christians, you do your churches. For the Muslim, you do your mosque. For the Jews, you do your synagogues. We don't interfere in any of those. And for the sewage and the water, it will be Palestinian Israelis. That could be mixed. Even to the point that they are bringing international people who will support Jerusalem. Like since Saudi Arabia have Mecca, and also it will have an influence in Jerusalem. And also the Pope will have influence on the Catholic spots or religious spots in Jerusalem. So that is being resolved. So Jerusalem not an issue. The border is an issue. And people say, what about the settlements? The border is any country supposed to be part of the UN. They have to state where their borders are. And Israel played the game with the UN till now. Nobody knows the borders of Israel. And we are insisting that, hey, you as Israeli, give us where's your borders? Where you fit in this Middle East? And now the Israelis are having a difficult time saying, these are going to be our borders. And then we could negotiate, no, you took too much from here, no, we take too much from here. And there was a very much of a committee just dealing with the land. Okay, you took so much in Jerusalem, we will give you some land nearby Nazareth for the Palestinians. So it was only now we have to deal with the percentage of exchange of land. And that percentage could come or go or make it louder, make it clearer, or make it percentage-wise. So even that is important. And people, what about the settlements? A settlement is not an issue. Even you could hear it in the news all the time, settlement, settlement, and if Israel wouldn't stop the settlement, Abu Mazen will not speak or talk or negotiate. I say the settlement is not an issue because if we have peace and real peace, that means Israelis are welcome to live any place they want in Palestine. But also they have to welcome us to live any place in Israel. In Palestine, for anybody who wants to live in Palestine, they have to abide by the rule of the Palestinian government. As well, if I want to live in Tel Aviv, I have to abide by the rule of Tel Aviv. So that is scary to the Israelis. The problem that is not being resolved still, and they are working on it and difficult to resolve it, is the Israeli always get something new. The newest thing in Israel now, don't recognize us as a state, but we want you to recognize us as a Jewish state. And they want us as an Arab to recognize them as a Jewish state, which put us as second citizen. It's like, I'll give you a gun and you shoot me, but you have to sign that you forgive me. We cannot recognize Israel as a Jewish state when we start feeling we don't have rights as a Palestinian there. So that becomes an issue and it's not being resolved yet. And I hope Mitchell have a time to deal with this issue of what is a Jewish state. A lot of people also understand that when you talk about Jews, not all of Jews are religious. 40 to 50% of Jews in Israel, they don't believe in God. Purposely, they are secular Jews. And suddenly, those secular Jews, suddenly, they say, well, God gave us this land. Well, you don't believe in him. Why he give you this land? Wait a minute. There will be questions. So it's not the idea of religious. And we cannot continue saying that it's a religious conflict. It's not a religious conflict. And please understand that as Americans, because we have a conflict with Israel, the Arabs and Israel have a conflict, and Islam and Israel have a conflict, you should have a conflict in America with Islam. You don't need to follow what the Israelis are doing. And please, this is very difficult for all of us. Suddenly you became the saviors of this concept. And we say, please, hold on a little bit. Understand a little bit. For anybody who would do an act in 9/11, the worst act ever have been done here. It's sad. To kill so many people, even as a Palestinian or an Arab and a Muslim, everybody condemned that. In the word that is not an Arab nor a Muslim. And we have to start understanding there is always bad apples everywhere. And when that bad apples comes, don't put the whole nation or the whole religion that they are bad. Because if they are bad, then it's all right to kill them. It's all right to destroy them. And that's what's going on in Afghanistan. That's what's going on in Iraq. And that is sad because Americans are much better than that. In nonviolence, how to make your opponent a friend. How you could bring him to a point that to show him and to work with him to say that we are all both humans. And the human being, we are more intellectual enough to resolve a conflict without killing each other. Thank you.